Hey, it's Nikki. Welcome back to Ranting with Ricardo. We are here for another recap review because it's my channel. I can do what I want. Few housekeeping things. Yes, the Martin recap review of the reunion has been pushed back. So has the haul of everything I've gotten over the past couple weeks because it has been a trying 48 hours. We have been for women, trans men, non-binary folks, we have been pushed back 50 years because some raggedy ass people down to the government sitting on the Supreme Court, aka SCOTUS, want to force women, not trans men and non-binary folk, to have children. And I just want to tell you, no uterus, no opinion. And that is for, I'm telling you now, you stay out of coochies, okay? You stay out of people's uteruses. Y'all, because I could really go off into it, but this is not what we heading into. So what I'm gonna say is, y'all need to vote. When it's time to vote, y'all need to vote because this is not the first thing they're trying to overturn. They're really trying to send us back to the 1800s and basically telling you if you're not a cis, white, heterosexual man, you don't deserve rights. So that means y'all need to get y'all asses up. Y'all need to get out there and make sure y'all are registered correctly in your correct state to vote. And when it's time to vote, you better go out in numbers. You better gather up all your kinfolk who can vote, and y'all take your asses down to the polling places and vote. If you are a felon, or if y'all just don't know anything about where your polling place is, if you're registered, if you're not registered, if you're a felon, you don't know if you have your voting rights, go to vote.org. It will help you not only figure out if you are registered to vote, if your registration has lapsed, it will help you get registered. It will tell you where your polling places are in your state and your county and where you go vote. And for the people who are felons, the website will help you. You have to go to restore my vote, and that is on vote.org, and it will help you learn if you have your voting rights back or if you can restore your voting rights by your state. So y'all go do that. And if you are watching and you are from Kansas, that's my home state. If you're from Kansas, if you are a felon, speaking to the felons right now, if you're a felon and you're not currently incarcerated, that means you're not in the clanker, you're not locked up and they won't let you out. You are not on parole or probation. You didn't pay your debt to society and you clear free, and ain't nobody holding you down, ain't nobody holding you back. Your voting rights have been restored to you after you completed your time in the clanker and your time on parole and probation. So, with that being said, to anybody from Kansas who is watching this, felon or not, if y'all are not registered to vote, or you don't know that you're registered to vote, y'all have until July 12th to register to vote, and we vote on August 2nd. So, chop chop, get to it, because this is something that is a hindrance to all of us. And I'm not just talking about the cis women, trans men, the non-binary folk. This is a hindrance to all of us because there is a formula shortage, tampon shortage, gas prices are being hiked up, food is being hiked up, and we're going to see a lot. Also, medical racism. Um we're going to see a lot of bad things happen if we don't get out there and vote and really, get the people who are currently opposing basic human rights up out of this bitch. Now, with that being said, I'm gonna get y'all these recap reviews, the hauls and everything on a later date. I will be coming to a Facebook Live, an Instagram Live, a TikTok Live near you, or a Twitter Space to talk about voting and everything. Or I might just post a video and y'all take the information where you will. That's something definitely I will be doing quick with the quickness. So hey, if you are new to the channel and you like the content over here, please like, comment, subscribe, turn your post notifications on, and share me with your people. If you're not new to the channel and you don't like the content over here, please like, comment, subscribe, turn your post notifications on, and share me with your people. Because you may not like me, but somebody out there does. If you want to get in touch with me, in touch with me for business, you want to follow me on social media. You want to buy my Elder Be Damn merch, you want to buy my lip gloss, or you just want to bless your girl with a little something because you know a bitch got bills and they need to be paid. And the way things are working around here, a bitch with a master's can't even get a low minimum wage. Okay, not that I'm looking down on nobody with minimum wage. They just not trying to hire your girl. And you know, some freelance jobs are few and far between. So you know, if you want to bless me with something or can bless me with something, I will take it all. I'm open to all blessings, okay? If it is given, I shall receive it, okay? All that can be found in the description box where below. Also, it can be found on the ticker scrolling across the screen. Now, I did restart this because I noticed that the microphone would get pulled out, and then I would have to put it back in, and then it's like I don't know what y'all caught or like what was missed or what wasn't missed because there's no there's no one in here, and I'm doing this like 3 o'clock in the morning. So I'm gonna just make sure that you know the microphone stays in and everything's okay. So let's get into this recap review. First of all, we open up like they do a little recap of a piece, a few pieces from last season, and then last episode. So when she shows up, I'm like, oh, she back. And you know who's back? It's the divorcee Lauren. Y'all know Lauren. That was the divorcee who came in and blew her whole divorce settlement up in the bank. Got drunk, was drunk driving, almost ran into the MoneyGram place, got arrested, got put in jail with Patrice and Mercedes and Monroe, the new house mother, is the one who told Mercedes that Keyshawn danced her turn. So boom, Lauren is back. She's throwing money. It has to be her stimmy. The girls are doing the best motherfucking pole work. They are really showing out. They are doing what they came to do and what they do best. Whispers, oh, you know, put a bitch in a trance with these ice blue eyes and this ice blue hair and this makeup that makes me look like I'm supposed to be an angel, like I'm supposed to be like a little ice queen, ice fairy. I'm supposed to be the light, which I'm really the dark. She hit a split. She hit that split in front of Lauren. She did her little body roll or whatever it was, like the snake move, put Lauren in a trance, made Lauren throw even more money. Then extra extra, or it could be Brazil, but I'm thinking it was extra extra, extra extra over there, giving her a lap dance. She dancing on her. Lauren throwing more money. Then, which you know proves the point that Bondi Blue made, and then I just like, yeah, this makes sense that you know these women are muses to a lot of people, and they will put you under a trance with how they dance and how they take you to a place with like the movements, like you can't take your eyes off of them, and then it's just like now that you're in a trance and now that you can't take your eyes off of them, you just gonna continue to throw more and more money because you basically want to give it all to them. You don't know why you want to give it all to them, but you basically want to give everything to them. Bring it all. You want to bring it all to them, like JC and Black said, and bring it all to me. The song, okay? So boom, we head over to the champagne room, and Toy is dancing. She is giving Lauren a lap dance. So Toy got a little pasties on. She take off her mask. Then she starts taking off Lauren's mask. And Lauren is double masked up, so Lauren takes off both masks with the help of Toy. Toy dancing on her some more. And then Toy leans back and sneezes on her. Mind y'all, Lauren's mouth is open, so she got all of that. And this sets her off. She started going off. She's like, I'm shutting this motherfucker down. Y'all are violations of regulations. Mind you, none of the men up in the pank are wearing masks because as soon as they get up in there or want to have a drink or want to say something, they take them damn things off. So it's a whole motherfucking mess up in here. And come to find out that Lauren is the health inspector or the health regulator, and you know, she shut the pank down. After the pank is shut down, they all back in the locker rooms, and Lauren runs down a list of things that they need to have updated within 24 hours for an inspection, or they will get shut down for good and fined $25,000. Mind you, that's what they said. That's all they had left. Then everybody got $25,000. Lauren looked at Uncle Clifford and was like, "Well, you can sell that Birkin." I was like, "Uncle Clifford, why you got that Birkin out? Why do you always have that Birkin with you? Like, I know it's nice, it's pretty, it's new, but that is a material item that, when not carried around all the time and not worn all the time and left in its dust bag and set up on a shelf to look nice and pretty like a trophy wife. Unfortunately, like being a trophy wife, some people like it, some people don't. I'm not going to get into it, but I'm just using that as, something to compare it to. It gains value, okay? And then you can resell it for more than what you bought it for. Especially if it's like a limited edition one. Like, they don't make another one of those. Child, but it's Uncle Clifford. She gonna wear what she wanna wear. She gonna rock what she wanna rock. And if she got a Birkin, she gonna let you hoes know, bitch, I got a Birkin. Now, Uncle Clifford and Monroe, that's the new house mother, if y'all didn't know, and Uncle Clifford, one of Uncle Clifford's good Judies. They like, who you kin to? You look familiar. They pull her mask down and it was like, oh, so boom. They now know, like we the audience know, if y'all didn't realize who Lauren was, she is a divorcee once again from last season who came in the pank on Mercedes' Last Dance, blew all of her divorce settlement, okay, cried to Gidget and Keyshawn, and then passed out, and Gidget and Keyshawn took all that little money, okay, got drunk, left the pank drunk, drove drunk, almost crashed into the MoneyGram place where Haley was going, like talking to the white lady who was like, well, your family was very generous to you. They sent you a lot of money. Almost crashed into that. Then she was driving around, almost crashed into people, almost ran a few people over, and then got arrested and was ended up in jail, like I said before. But this is them like, oh, okay. They're realizing who she is. She ended up in jail with Monroe, who's a transgender woman. So she was put with the women, Patrice, the bane of my existence, and Mercedes, my love, okay, because I love her. Child. So then they got that. And it's just like, well, they could use that against you because you don't want your job to know what you was doing, okay? Then Monroe was like, and she told us while she was in jail with us, okay, because I was in there with her, that the reason why her and her husband divorced is because she slept with his mama. I was like, not his mama. Like, I'm not judging, but girl, I'm kind of judging because you're not like my good sis down to the TikTok who basically let y'all know, for the freezies, when she was asked a question, that when her ex cheated on her, she fucked his mom, and she's pansexual, so she what for everybody, and everybody can what get it. Okay, I love her, but that's not the case for you, Lauren, because see, by law, what the government say, because they can't claim each other on each other's taxes when it comes to them only being boyfriend girlfriend, they don't go together legally. If I can claim you on my taxes, the government does not recognize you as a partner to me, or a like. I don't have children, so they don't recognize that I don't have children either. So they wouldn't recognize that if you wasn't claiming your kids on your taxes, okay? On top of that, you were married and you slept with that man's mama. The government legally says y'all go together because y'all claim each other on each other's taxes. Lauren, you fucked up big time. And her fuck up led to, that fine dropping to $11,000 out of that $25,000. And basically it was like, y'all got 24 hours. The fine's $11,000. You better chop get to it, cause she trying to blow her stimmy up in there too. So Roulette starts talking about how, Toy basically ain't shit. She ruined her Roulette and Whisper's chances of making a bag tonight and running these men's pockets. And Brazil was like, slow down, rookie. Like, I gotta stick up for Toy. This bitch stay with an issue. She either got fucked up intestines or she got bad allergies. Like, calm down. And Roulette was like, bitch, was anybody talking to you? And Brazil was like, I don't know why you were. You got diverse, multiple streams of income from what I hear. And Roulette was like, what you talking about? And it's like, bitch, you know exactly what she's talking about. You don't think she knows what, like, you don't think she knows what she knows, but she knows and we know that you do have diverse, multiple streams of income. And it's not only Brazil that knows, it's Big L and Duffy that knows as well. And Brazil basically breaks out with, hey, a customer came in here looking for a girl with dick sucking lips to, do some dick sucking. I feel like that should have been the name of the episode. Sucking dick or dick sucking. That should have been the name of the episode because there's a lot of that happening this season or just specifically this episode. And she was like, yeah, the customer came in because, mind y'all, Brazil was the dancer from last episode. The dude was like trying to get to, slop the knobs, slurp, get a little slurp, slurp, sloppy toppy, that guac guac 3000, what Nancy Reagan was known for. I believe it was Nancy Reagan that was known for being the guac guac 3000 master. Yeah. So Brazil started making fun of her because she was like, you're looking for dick sucking lips and you're the only person in here with dick sucking lips. Just keep going at her, keep making fun of her. And Uncle Clifford was like, ain't nobody sucking dick up in here because if you a hoe, you got to get out the door. And right before whoop that trick and roulette take off on Brazil, she say, oh, she's lying. And Brazil makes fun of her again. And then whoop that trick start playing. Roulette take off on her. Brazil getting that ass beat. She not holding her own. She done pushed her over a bench. She done slammed her head into a locker. She is really trying to, hurt that girl. She put her in a wrestling move. Uncle Clifford tried to come over there and break them up. But, they pushed her out the way. And it was like, don't be pushing Uncle Clifford like that. You new batches. Ugh, y'all do too much. What an old hoes at? Because these new ones, Sadie, is your shoulder okay? Because, these heifers up in here. No, ma'am. Anyway, Big L got to come over there and he grabs Roulette by the back of the hair, trying to get her off Brazil, but it don't work because she go right back after her. So then he got to pick her up and put her basically like a fireman carry. And right before he's able to walk up out that locker room, she kicked Brazil in the face. And I was like, well, damn. Mind you, the girls is recording this for the gram. I was like, somehow, some way, this gonna get all over. This is a hot, fresh ass mess. Now, Big L takes Roulette back to the office and he offers her a drink. She was like, I don't drink dark liquor. And he asked her about the wrestling move, the Dragon Sleeper. And he was like, that's a Dragon Sleeper. Are you like a wrestler? Or did you wrestle? And she was like, no, my brother taught me. So now we find out that she had a brother. We don't know where the brother is at this point, but we're going to get into that later in the episode. And he was like, oh, so you fight dudes. She was like, no, bitches. I strictly fight bitches. And I was like, yeah, I could see that. The way you went after poor Brazil, even though she was telling the truth. And it's just like, if you would have kept the cool, calm, and collected and would have gotten out of a bag about it, then yeah, they would have believed you. But you not only start whooping her ass, you kicked her in the face and put her in a wrestling move that could have hurt her. So yeah, we know you out here sucking dick for tips. We're not judging. I mean, you're going to have to get your ass gone because you ruining the reputation of the pank. But we're not judging. Like, I don't judge sex workers. Like, I support the naked hustle. And I definitely support it if this was your choice. Now, if it wasn't your choice and somebody forced you into it, no. But I support sex workers. And, Roulette is like, ain't you gonna fire me? Because right before she said, ain't you gonna fire me? Big L was like, he revealed something else about himself. Now, what was that, episode 2? I know when they put Uncle Clifford in her trunk and took her to her birthday party, she was like repenting and naming off all the bad stuff she did. So we know her and Big L robbed a bank. We know they chopped up somebody and put them in the swamp. So we know those two things about Big L. We find out that he either has a daughter or had a daughter, and he was like, Roulette reminds him of his daughter. So then that makes me think about the reasons why Big L does the things he does. Wanting to help save the bank for Uncle Clifford because Uncle Clifford was the only person to take a chance on him and give him a job after he got out of prison. So that drives him to wanting to, take care of stuff. And then when it comes to the girls, making sure that they're okay, or especially if he sees a person like one of his loved ones in them, he wants to help them. So boom, we find out something else about Big L. Like I said, So then we get to Roulette, and she like Roulette saying, ain't you gonna fire me? He was like, fire you for what? She was like, for fighting. He was like, because she was like, if you gonna fire me, fire me. And he was like, well, if I was only firing you for fighting, that would be, the point would be moot. Like, but why would I just fire you for fighting? It seems like whatever Brazil said was true. And it was. We know it. She know it. Uncle Clifford know it. The whole goddamn world knows she was sucking dick for tips. We not judging, but that's what you're doing. And like I said before, you're going to have to get your ass gone because you looking like a real problem, and we don't need those this season, okay? We don't need no more motherfucking issues, okay? We already dealing with some spiritual work and the fact that it looked like that man is haunting the pink. We don't need no more problems. And you and Big Bone, I'm going to get to her ass later, and Whisper, she ain't do nothing this episode, but I gotta add her into it because new people always cause issues. Y'all are causing issues that we don't need right now. And basically Big L lets her know, like they let each other know, but he was like, I saw you get out that car. What was you doing? And she lets him know, hey, I saw you and Duffy, after I got out of that car. What was y'all doing? So it's just like, what was everybody doing? Secrets had by all, and it's not a good thing. So she grabs the liquor bottle and she's about to take a chug of it, and she was like, I'm a classy bitch. And Big L snatches the bottle from her and pours her a drink. And they talk about the dragon sleeper, and he asked her, how do you get out of that? And she basically said, you have to finesse your opponent to get from up under them to get on top of them. And Big L says, you out here getting finessed, like you need to either finesse or be you either need to finesse people or get finessed. And at this current moment, you don't need to be finessed, though. You need to learn how to be the finesser, like you learned how to get it out of a dragon sleeper and how to do that hold. Basically, bitch, you better get it together because we don't need these types of problems up in this hoe. Now, before we get into the whole Mercedes and Uncle Clifford, ciao, Hazel London. If y'all don't know who Hazel London is, Hazel London and her friend, I forgot the lady's name, and if I could find a picture where somebody showed, the whole Chuckalisa, hold on, I'm gonna go find it. I'm gonna try to find it, y'all. If he was beefing at that wedding. Hold on. I'm gonna find it. I swear I am. Found it. Okay. Hazel London and Geronda Henderson. Those, and y'all know them. They are the two women from the what was that clip? The party goers down to Bella Noche's, where it was just like, if you was beefing at that wedding, you should have been beefing at that wedding. Why bring that to somebody's club? Okay, it's sad. It's upsetting me and my homegirls because if you can't party at Bella Noche's, or if you can't go to Bella Noche's, well, where can you go? And it was in the episode, it was like, finally, Hazel London is getting paid for what she did. She is serving. She is giving. So proud of her. Proud of her. Okay. So she and her friend reenacted the whole scene for P Valley. And I was like, oh my God, we needed this. Somebody, because I went back to the tweets, where her name was mentioned, back in 2020, somebody was like, so Hazel London made an appearance at the Pank. That's what y'all trying to tell me. And she finally did. And it was like, our answers were, our prayers were answered. Okay, I had that completely switched around, but you know what I'm talking about. Okay. Now, that's on Clifford and Mercedes. Mercedes calling Clifford on phone, and they talking about the Pank being shut down, and Roulette being a hoe, even though she said she not a hoe, but it's just like, you was a hoe, and you know it. We don't judge for you being a hoe, but if you gonna be that, admit that, and then get your ass gone, like I said, because you can't be a hoe at the Pank. So while they on the phone, the local news is on, and Lisa Patrice is putting her hat in officially in the race to be mayor. And it's just like, Lord, why? And then Mercedes gets a call from, not a call, she gets a text from Coach saying, hey, I'm going to be in Memphis in 4 hours. The Mercedes experience needs to be finished out. So she got to go on down there to, finish the Mercedes experience, okay? Child Gidget is back on the scene. I don't know how many days, like how many episodes she gonna be back on the scene, but I know she's here for this episode. She is riding with the Dirty Dozens crew down to Birmingham for the show they about to do, because she not only wants to spend time with Keyshawn, but she wants to see her dance. And y'all know Gidget is all over the place. She was in Arizona. She mentioned someplace in Nashville, so now I think she's in Nashville now. Now they stopped at a beauty supply store to do promo for Keyshawn's Miss Sip lashes. And Braun was like, "Is this everything you ever dreamed of or thought of?" And Keyshawn, like, excited, was like, "No, it's more than that. However, I got a problem with, why am I lighter on my promo picture than I am in real life?" And he was like, "Oh, it's lighting." And I have something to say about this as a person who graduated with an undergrad degree and bachelor's of science, but an emphasis in digital media production and sports communications. Let me explain this to you. Lighting darker skin tones, while people think it's hard, it's not really hard. You just got to know how to work the lights and which lights go good with which skin tones and how to have everything set up. So they could have legit done that. There's YouTube videos teaching you how to do that, to make sure that you don't wash them, like wash black people out, especially if they have darker skin tones, or if you make them way too bright, so then you wash them out when it comes to the people who have lighter skin tones. There are ways to make sure you don't make, like, I'm going to say gray them. And what I mean is it just looks dull. There's no life to it. There is no the melanin's not popping like it is supposed to be. Now, the melanin was popping, but what they did was made her lighter than she was supposed to. So either y'all like fucked up lighting, which, as a person, once again, like I said, I do this in real life. I went to school for this. I currently do this when it comes to running this YouTube channel, TikTok, Instagram, Fanbase, Blamazon, and Instagram. I do this. If I'm not on screen, I at least try to make sure that the graphics and all that are okay, because that's another thing that goes into production. Bitch, I'm the only one over here running this production. I'm a one-woman show. So let's be clear. I know how to light myself to make sure that I am not because the undertones of my skin are red. So I have to work with the lights to make sure that the redness is not shining through, especially if I'm having a bad breakout and I can't put makeup on to, hide that. So I know how to finesse the lighting to make sure that I show up looking my best on screen. So they should have been able to finesse the lighting like they do for everybody else to make sure her skin, that very beautiful, darker, melanated pigment, showed up just the way it is, beautiful, and not lighter than what she actually is in real life. On top of that, if it came down to editing, then the editor and the person who was doing the lighting should be fired, because didn't nobody tell y'all raggedy asses to go make her lighter than what she is, because that becomes a hindrance to her when she is trying to sell her products, because everybody's thinking she's lighter than what she really is. Then it's just like, well, what are you doing? And then it then brings on the hate and everything else, and her having to explain that you raggedy motherfuckers who was taking the pictures and doing the editing made her look like she was like basically like she didn't love her skin, which is a lie. But get that in order, Rome, with your old cokehead ass. Like, I don't like to talk about nobody in the addictions because addiction runs in my family, but it had to be said for this character. I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna say no mean stuff to y'all in real life, but it has to be said for the character. He always doing something. He never on what he's supposed to be doing. And what he's supposed to be doing is making sure she looks best every time. Child, now Murda is like, where my promo at? And what he's like, well, we can get you some lashes, we can get you some nails, and then you could be Uncle Murder. And it's just like, Wody, stop with the bullshit, my guy. Stop with taking the pot shots at him. If you got something to say it. If you don't, keep that shit to yourself and shut your mouth. Like, he know that you know, you know that he knows that you know. And with that being said, shut the fuck up. So what if he likes, a little peen? Maybe he like puss too. I don't care. As long as nobody's verbally abusing him, mentally abusing him, physically abusing him, or abusing him in any other way that, I don't have the words for it yet. And that everything he does is consensual and nobody is hurting him and nobody's becoming a hindrance to his life, shut up and let him be him. Let him live his life. Wody, there's going to be a time where you either going to have to roll with it or get rolled over. Like my girl Brooke said, down to the basketball wives, you either roll with it or get rolled over. And I feel like you're going to get rolled over. Now, mind you, Murder winked at him and they still playing that dumbass game. And I'm seeing with a lot of other people who are reviewing this show are seeing with a lot of like signs of death and having like a lot of death around the murder, and it's just like, is he gonna be like, is that gonna happen to him? Is it gonna happen to Keyshawn? From what I saw from the preview next episode, like, is way too like many signs when it comes to death this season, and it's just like, I don't like it. I don't like it. Please stop. Now, Keyshawn shows LaMurda the video of the girls fighting in the pink, and she was like, in the locker room, and she was like, "Well, was it always this ghetto?" And it's just like, girl, don't forget where you came from. It was just as ghetto as when you were there. And Gidget was like, "Nah, because the ghetto is place. Y'all haven't seen ghetto till y'all seen the place I danced in Nashville." And everybody looks at her. Other than Keyshawn looks at her crazy because she's a white girl, and it's just like, why are you saying ghetto? Child, like, that's a whole other thing to like talk about and think about. But when it really comes down to it, I don't know how many episodes Gidget is going to have. So it's just like, what can you say? What can you do other than the fact that there are some things that, white people shouldn't be saying, but they will, especially if they grew up in around a lot of black people, and it still doesn't give them the right to say it. But they gonna do what they want to do. They gonna say what they want to say, and all I got to say is the last person who said the N word around me, who was not a black person, got popped and never said it again. He admitted that he never said it again after I popped him. So just want to put that out there. Now, Big T's supposed to be driving. But the problem is, Big T looking at a video and was like, what is the video? It's a video of an unarmed black man being killed and everything that was the fallout of that. So I feel like they're touching on George Floyd in a sense. And it's just like, oh, I don't want to live through this again, because this summer is going to be a lot, especially with the people getting arrested for protesting the fact that Roe versus Wade was overturned and all of that that's happening. But it's just like, my chest got really heavy, and it was like, oh, it got really heavy. It was like, I didn't like it. I didn't like that weight that was on my chest. It was very suffocating. I didn't like it. I didn't. It made me feel like how I felt back then. It made me feel like yesterday or like the past 48 hours, and I didn't like it. And Rome, oh, cokehead bitch ass, said, I wonder what he did. Like, I wonder what he did to get killed. And now they got static. Now they got smoke. Now they got tension. Now we got beef, bitch. Child, down to the pank. Haley is like getting dressed for the day, but she is drawn to the red room. And you hear like whispering. I don't know if anybody else picked up on that on this episode, but you hear whispering. And it's just like, who the fuck is talking? And I was like, oh shit, the pank got ghost. The ghost of all the people who have thrown money up in there, the ghost of all the women who have come in and out of there, the ghost of all the ops that were trying to, shut the pank down, and the real life motherfucking ghost who was haunting that bitch because, what happened last season. So before she could make it down to the red room, she hears banging on the door. Now, we see Montavious, but we don't really see Montavious. We see Montavious is like hat, and it's like red, okay? It's red. Because, he forever lives in the red room. So, now his colors ain't white no more. It's red. Going to the door, answering, it's Corbin, a raggedy ass. He come over there trying to intimidate her and trying to push her to sell the pank. And he like, I give you $1 million right now. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. I'll give you $1 million. Mind you, he just doubled his offer. And he was like, well, this is the second time y'all been shut down, so you might as well take the meal and be done with it. And she was like, well, you wanted to double my offer, which proves that, I'm worth so much more than $1 million. And she shuts the door in his face. Mind you, it was a whole bunch of motherfucking tension between them. And I was like, it got me a little hot, okay? I don't like this tension between the two of y'all. I don't like this because I feel like if there is tension between the two of them, they gonna hate fuck. And if they hate fuck, there's gonna be some problems between Corbin and Andre, musty, crusty, dusty, not so trusty, lazy ass who needs a haircut. Sir, you live in Atlanta. Get a haircut. Anyway, we get to Andre. Andre's come home. Like I said, like what happened in the last episode and a few episodes before, I was like, I think he gonna run for mayor. So he come home. He got his mask on. He come through the door. He calling for his wife. I think he thought he heard her coughing, but my closed caption said it was some moaning happening upstairs. So he hears that, thinking she's in danger, takes off running upstairs like he's Ron Isley in the Contagious video without the sword. Child, he get to the room and find his wife sucking dick of her coworker Dante, and that is the same coworker that called her back into the building, into the hospital when she was on the phone with Andre. She is sucking that man's dick. She is going to town. Andre tackles him, puts him in a chokehold, is choking this man out. He about to kill this man. She yelling at him like, let him go, let him go. You're choking him. You're killing him. Let him go, Andre. Let him go. And he has tunnel vision. So, like, he blind rage, tunnel vision. He's really trying to kill this man. And, like, her pleas and everything gets muffled for a second. And then he let the dude go. Dante start coughing. He naked on the ground. Andre told him to get his ass up out of there because he was like, you fucking my wife. You're fucking my wife. You ain't shit. He was like, Dante said, does it matter? And especially because he was like, in my bed. But he was like, does it matter? And I was like, hell yeah, it matter. Some disrespectful shit, Dante. But full frontal male nudity. I'm here for it. Y'all like to see women full frontal all the goddamn time. It's time for y'all to be full frontal sometimes. Here for it. If you want to be nude, be nude. If you want to be in a buff, be in a buff. Okay? Show what you're working with. Show your God-given, show your birthday suit, okay? Show that was made in the US of A. That's 100% grade A, natural, no pesticides, no nothing. Okay? Show it off. I'm for it. This is going to be a long-ass review. I can already tell. So Andre dropped him. He coughing. Like I said, Andre told him to get out. He was like, well, can I get my clothes? Can I get my clothes? Andre said no, and he like, get the fuck out. So he take off running, butt naked and all. I was like, sir, you weren't gonna get them clothes back. I don't know why you tried. He was not finna let you have them clothes back. You just gonna have to run down the street or be in your car, butterball booty butt birthday motherfucking suit naked, cause you ain't getting them clothes back. So Brittany sees that Andre don't have a mask on, and she was like, why don't you have a mask on? I was like, why are you worrying about masks? Ma'am, you was just sucking dick. Okay, everybody seems to be sucking dick this episode. The episode should have been called Sucking Dick or Dick Sucking. I'm just say that. He ends up throwing a vase at her, but she ducks, so it cracks against the wall behind them across the bed. Now they start talking about how because she was like, he was here, we're co-workers, because they both work at the hospital. It's this, it's that. And he was like, yeah, he's always around. That's your person. He's the Jack to your Jill. I was like, I always thought Jack and Jill were brother and sister, but hey, I'm going to mind my business. But basically, Dante's her person. And if y'all don't know what a person is, just go watch Grey's Anatomy. If you don't want to sit through all, 17 seasons, just go watch Christina and Meredith compilation videos on YouTube, and it'll explain what a person is. And Andre starts going into it. He was like, Dante is the person your mother wanted you to marry. He's always around. Your family, specifically your mother, didn't want you marrying know nothing, has nothing, got a nigga from the Delta, okay, who couldn't buy you a house And she was like, oh no, this is your house. He was like, no, it's not, because your family makes it a point to tell me every single time that this is not my house, that I didn't help buy this house. This is not my, like, my name not on the deed or nothing. So it was like, low-key felt bad for him in this sense, even though I don't like Andre, especially how he played her out last season. But now it has me thinking, how many times was she throwing that puss to old Dante or that old faithful? How many times was she throwing it to the old faithful, okay? And I can't really speak on married people's problems, but it's just like, if that was a big issue, 'cause I'm not married, but for Andre, like, if that was a big issue for him, then he should express that to Brittany. And Brittany, if he didn't express it and you didn't pick up on how your family was treating him, then y'all should have divorced a long fucking time ago. This is probably gonna lead to a divorce, especially after he because she wasn't expecting him back. She was expecting him back next week and not this week. And he was like, well, I came back a week early to ask your permission / get your blessing to run for mayor in Chucalissa. And she laughs at him and basically tells him, you're not going to win. And he was like, well, I ain't got nothing here. I ain't got nothing to lose. And he leaves. Leave her ass in the house in Atlanta, in her little robe with the bruises on her face from the mask. And maybe she had called Dante back over there so she could finish slobbing the knob. I don't know. Polo Tink Tink got his little heart broken, but I was like, well, you was going to sling the dick to Haley last season, but you needed a condom, went down there, she saw everything she needed to see for the casino and all the pictures you took, and she hightailed it up out of there, and you never got the puss from her, so we'll see how this works out for you. Now, Mercedes shakes that ass back down to the condo, and when she gets in there, she drops her little trench coat. She looked good. Brandy's body is amazing. Coach isn't there. Farrah is there, and Farrah's grabbing her camera equipment. So they talk about how they've never done girl on girl stuff before. They talk about why she had to leave initially, and she was like, my daughter got into some trouble. I needed to help her. Mercedes shows Farrah a picture of Terica, and she was like, oh, super mom. She was like, no, but I'm trying. And that's basically all she can do at this point, because as much as we want to say, oh, Mercedes, you should have had Terica, you should have did this, Shell, oh, glutton for punishment ass. And like I said in my last review, and like I said on my Twitter, I don't think when Cortez said to take care of Terica, he meant to keep her away from Mercedes. I think he meant to say, hey, help where you can, and you took it as take care of her. And I don't care if Cortez was 19 and she was 15, that was still statutory motherfucking rape. And you's a grown ass adult. You should not be upset at the girl who was 15 years old when she got pregnant because your grown ass husband decided to climb on top of her. And the fact that it was 4 adults against a 15-year-old when it came to like having that child and giving that child away and raising her, yeah, some bullshit. And she was right when it comes to the court systems, especially when it comes to a court system in Mississippi, to take a child out of a home where the woman is a crooked Christian bitch. And I had to say it. And she has the money and the financial stability, and it seems like she's giving this child everything to give to a stripper who, like, we don't know Mercedes' educational background. They weren't going to do that. So yeah, Mercedes is trying the best she fucking can, especially with the fact that the whole reason why she's doing this in the first place when it comes to the whole Coach and Farrah thing is so she could get the money for the gym, so she could fix the gym up, pay off the mortgages, and be able to get Terica back, especially with having a little money saved. I was like, well, if I was into this, I would have did it myself too. Ciao. So Mercedes hops on the pole and she starts doing tricks and she's spinning and everything. And Farrah starts taking pictures of her. Mercedes was like, that NDA y'all had me sign said no pictures, no press, no nothing, no public. And it's like, no, Miss Girl, none of this. And Farrah was like, he's running late, so I won't tell if you don't. And she started taking pictures. Now down to the Pank. They tried to get everything taken care of. However, most of the stuff they need is sold out. So Big L called Duffy, and Duffy brought his ass down there with the stuff they needed and the help they needed to get the Pank, right. So we could be open again. And then Toy shows up. She brought the girls to help, do everything. And then Diamond shows up because he was still in the group chat, and he ain't been back since everything happened, but he came to help out anyway, because they Family. If y'all don't know what family is, you're like, oh, you're saying it wrong. No. Friends and family combined is family. Now down to the Dirty Dozen crew. They on the highway they backed up to due to the protest, which I think this is about George Floyd. Now Big T, he's aggravated and agitated, and you can feel that in his energy, and you can read that on his face. He trying to listen to the radio. Get it starts turning radio, so he get it turns the radio, so he start going off a little bit, and they hear DJ Never Scared on the radio, and Lil Murder was like, "Shoo, be quiet." And he's like, I think that's DJ Never Scared. And everybody, no, Gidget was like, I think that's DJ Never Scared. And everybody was like, no, that's not him. That's not him. And it was. And it was. So Gidget calls him and tells him, we heard you on the radio. And then DJ Never Scared, because Lil Murder took the phone and talks to him. And DJ Never Scared was like, I'm trying to get you on this feature. And Buddy takes the phone from him. He was like, when you need it by. He was like, I needed that bitch by yesterday, but I make an exception for tonight. So Rome and Buddy is like, yeah, he'll have it done. And Rome mentions publishing, okay, and how artists will get fucked out of millions when the paperwork and the legalese is not right when it comes to adding a verse to somebody's song, because you working with a producer and the producer just put your vocals on there and now you ain't getting your money on the back end. So they get into a little arguing, and Big Teak finally yells at all of them to shut the fuck up. On the radio, you hear that there is an 8 p.m. curfew being placed on Birmingham, and that basically the performance is not happening. That's down the drain. So now Lil Murder can have all night to work on his verse if they can get off the goddamn highway. And Ramon's like, oh no, we having a kickback at the suite. We gonna celebrate. And he said all of this, and Gidget's like, oh my god, we going to party at the suite. We having a kickback. She's just giddy and happy and all that shit. But this was like after he pissed Big Teak off saying, all this because another nigga got killed. I was like, oh, you bitch, you. We'll remember this when it comes to the character. We'll remember this when it's this you, okay? Now, Gidget is celebrating, like I told y'all, and Keyshawn is like, she turned around and was like, A, calm it down, and B, turn the radio up. And then Rome is over here snorting coke in the passenger seat, and Keyshawn just looks at him like, this nigga here. Or I don't know if it was like this nigga here like look, or like it's just like a look of disgust, but she looked at him some type of way. Now, boom, we kick it on back down to the condo with Mercedes and Farrah. Mercedes is working the pole. Farrah is snapping away on the camera, and Farrah was like, I wish I knew how to do this. And Mercedes is like, I'll teach you. So Mercedes gets off the pole, squats down, like takes off Farrah's shorts, and she was like, you got to have a lot of skin to be able to grip the pole. So she's trying to teach her that shit don't work out, trying to teach her how to fly. So she tried to teach her how to twerk, and she was like, oh, I can't twerk, I can't do it. And it real sexual because Mercedes is teaching her everything. He get real sexual. Okay, I was like, I'm not mad at you. Okay, hello. It was sexy. And after Farrah starts like, popping ass, she's like, she wanted to hate Mercedes, but she ended up hating herself. And, now she's here crying in front of a stripper, which, this offends Mercedes because it's just like, oh, I thought we were getting along. I thought we were becoming friends, or at least having, being able to be cordial. And Mercedes was like, you can leave, because Farrah tried to apologize, but she was like, you can leave. Coach is on his way. And then we find out that Coach is not coming. Coach was not coming to Memphis. He was leaving Memphis. And the person who texted Mercedes was Farrah. And the reason why she texted Mercedes is because, she never met a woman who could hold her own weight, which means she never met like Mercedes does. And I guess she never met a woman who would A, stand up to Coach, and B, do what Mercedes does on that pole. And I feel like somebody else can elaborate on this in their reviews, but that's what it's feeling like to me. Like, you've never had a woman around you who could do what Mercedes does, like being amused and being able to put you in a trance like she does when she's on the pole, whether she's dancing hard or where she's like, she softens it up for you, or the fact that she put your husband in check and checked him about the way he was talking to you. So, you know, Mercedes was like, I fall a lot. Basically, like, I fall physically and, figuratively, but, basically I get back up. And then they start kissing. Then they start touching. Well, first they start touching. Then they start kissing. Then clothes is coming off. Then titties pop out. And then they start licking. And I was like, ooh, okay, I see y'all. Down to the paint, grandmother tells Uncle Clifford, because the news is on and showing all the people protesting, that she should be out there protesting. Uncle Clifford is like, some people, should be out there protesting, and some people should be keeping the strip clubs open. And I was like, I'm one of those people who figuratively will keep the strip club open, meaning I will do what I can from the comfort of my safe space. I don't really feel comfortable. Like, I don't like crowds of people. So it couldn't be me. I will do what I can from the comforts of my safe space. And grandmother starts flirting with the man that Duffy brought to help, and she was calling him T'Challa because they African. She was like, "Oh, a T'Challa, that's your name, T'Challa." And he was like, "No, my name is Godfrey," which makes her turn her happy ass around because she was like, "That's a white name." And I was like, "Well, we know Godfrey the actor, and actor comedian, and I believe Godfrey. I don't know, maybe Anyway." Now the girls is over there gossiping as they cleaning about Diamond and why he left. They all throwing out theories, and Toy is the only one to like have the real truth where Keyshawn put a gun on him, and all that happened, and they don't believe her because they like it's a tall tale, it's a tall tale. Now Big Bone is eyeing Diamond, and it's like, I don't like the way you eyeing him, Big Bone, okay? And then Toy ass starts sneezing again. And I'm like, Toy, if you don't get you some Claritin, some Mucinex, something, and get the hell up out of our faces, because you the reason why we in this situation now. So Diamond is carrying his happy ass back and forth between the rooms, getting everything set up, and he happens to stop at the red room, so he goes in there, and he starts having a visible panic attack, and then we get like this it's like this imagery, and I love how the cinematography is for this, because it's like, I don't know if it was supposed to be blood or water, but it was like it's wet, like the ground is wet, the Diamond is walking on in the red room, and there is a hand reaching up, but because the room is the room is red and it's very dark and it's giving off that energy, especially the fact that God didn't put no anointing oil, no sage, no smudging, no holy water, no Florida water, nothing up in that room. You got ghost up in there, okay? Ghost of murderers past in there. Like, the hand is reaching out to Diamond, but because the room is so dark and it's so red, you can't tell if the hand is covered in water or covered in blood, whatever it is, but he's visibly having a panic attack. And then it stops because this is it's scaring him on top of that, because it's once again, this is the first time he's been back here since everything has happened. And then Big L comes in and he snapped up out of it, and he just looking around because he in his head, he was like, I could have sworn it was wet and I saw a hand. What the hell is going on here? I was like, that's Montavious. He haunting everybody. Child, so they're watching the news, and Wayne, old raggedy racist ass, like the racist who sit on the Supreme Court and are in the Senate and Congress, and any other politician who feels like we should take a step back into the 1800s where only cis white hetero men had rights. Yeah, racist on bullshit. We not finna do this with y'all. Y'all go out there and vote. Wayne Raggedy ass is like, oh, there will be no protesting in Chucalissa, and don't tear up your own community. And it's just like, protests start out very peaceful. They don't ever start out as riots. They start very peaceful, and then you have certain people, them dandruff demons, come out and start fucking shit up and blaming the people that are protesting for it, and then that's how riots start. But go off, I guess. So they set at 8 p.m. How I add you to the chat? I didn't add you. like bring you up on the screen. I could do that from how I'm controlling it, but I ain't add you to nothing. Anyway, back to this. So he set the curfew for 8 p.m. And I was like, this takes me back to 2020. This is not a great time. And I feel like that's what they're going to try to do for the rest of the summer up until it's time to vote. And then if you're caught outside after 8 p.m., it's a $500 fine. So bullshit right there. It's like, who's about to pay $500 to this crooked ass town, city, whatever. So Clifford was like, y'all gonna have to stay here because I don't like we're not finished setting up and cleaning up, and I don't want y'all to be out there driving trying to get fined. And Haley's like, no, they gotta go home. They gotta go home because she does not want them to know that she is living there. Like she doesn't want them to know that she's living there, and on top of that, it's just like nobody like she doesn't want them to know she's living there, and then they don't know she's living there, and Jupiter was like, I gotta go pick up the baby. She over there with Clancy. And that's when we find out that the dude that was yelling at her in the club, his name is Clancy. I was like, oh, okay, that's an old ass name. Is the baby Flava, per the DNA test. Now, on the news, Patrice is raising all hell down there to the church trying to get people to calm down. And it's like, use your rage, be with your people. And she is doing everything she can to make sure that she is on the ballot to be mayor. Okay? Now, I don't know if it was the word that Patrice was speaking. I don't know if it was like what happened to cause the curfew, or if it was seeing Patrice on the news, but it got Roulette visibly upset and she ran off. Now, once she runs off, Andre comes into the club and he goes sit down at the bar. And Uncle Clifford said, "You look like a man whose wife just cheated on him." And Andre confirms, and it was like, well, damn. Wasn't expecting that. We weren't. Roulette is crying in the champagne room. Like I said, this is going to be a long episode because all these episodes are like an hour or so long. Anyway, Roulette is crying in the champagne room and Duffy comes in there. Ask her if she's all right, just trying to check on her. And we find out that the brother who taught her the dragon sleeper and the reason why she got so visibly upset when listening to Patrice in the news is because her brother was killed by police officers who pulled him over for having a broken tail light and then claimed he had a gun. And then we find out that her brother's name was Demethrius. They called him Michi, which means, but that is why the episode is called Demethrius. Boom. Now we know. Big L and Diamond talking outside, and Big L talking about how he being overworked and how, he learned how to set up ACs and do all that stuff because he got his associate's degree in that when he was in jail. But he only got to put that to use because Clifford was the only person to hire him. And he basically tells Diamond to come on back. We need you. And as long as the Pank is here, I'm here. So come on, bring your ass back. Now, Big Bone outside smoking a cigarette leaning against her motorcycle. And Diamond comes over there and they start chopping it up. And we find out she's from Texas. And here's my problem with this whole situation. Big Bone from Texas, Montavious and Haley and whatever Delta gang, Delta crew, the Dirty Delta, whatever, the Delta Dozen, whatever that gang is that Montavious was a part of, they're also from Texas. I don't trust Big Bone. I don't trust her. I wasn't looking I didn't like the way she was looking at Diamond. This could be bad. But they start chopping it up. And I was like, Diamond, you a little easy thought, ain't you? You're a little thotty, okay? You're just thotting and bopping all up and through these streets. Because Big Bone is talking to him like, because he asked her how long you been riding. And she was like, riding what? Like, riding what? And she just flirting with him and just giving him the business. She giving him the time, the energy, just talking to him. And he was like, you need to go on. Would you break curfew? She was like, I don't give a damn about no curfew. And she get on her bike and she throw him a helmet. And she was like, I think this will fit you. Come on. I was like, oh, don't you do it. Don't you do it. Don't you take her back home. Because if she is from Texas and she was a part of the crew or if she knew them, this could be bad for all of us. Now, Mercedes wakes up naked and alone. She and Farrah put the puss on each other, and it must have been real good. Because Farrah texted her, and she was like, it's amazing. Can't wait to see you again. I was like, aw. This is either going to lead to Farrah becoming falling in love and becoming obsessed with Mercedes, or vice versa. But I'm thinking more Farrah, or they're going to become real good best friends or real good girlfriends, and they're going to help each other get out of certain situations. Okay. Now that she's awake, she's seeing all these texts about Patrice and what she's doing and everything happening down to the club. So everything that's happening in Chuckalisa, she's now getting that text about. Now, next to the bed is her 10K for the weekend. I don't know if she already had gotten her 10K or if this was an extra 10K, but get your money, girl. And if you could get an extra 10K out of the both of them because you're now pulling double duty, I do it. Do it. So in the suite, the Dirty Dozen crew in there, Rome is lacing a blunt with coke. He asked Lamurda if he wanted. Lamurda was like, "Nah, I'm good." Gidget, you know, get the blunt and winks at Lil Murder, and they playing that damn murder game again. It's just like, y'all got to stop. I don't like all of this. Like, please stop. Big T is so focused on the news and what's going on that, you know, Lil Murder come over there to talk to him, like, what's going on with you? What's wrong with you? And he know, like, whatever answer he gave, I forgot what it was, but he didn't like him. Lil Murder was like, I hate when you get like this. And Big T looked at him and he was like, don't you got some homework to do? So he going to do his verse. So after he leaves, Rome turns off the TV. So the rest of the people left in the room get toast to Keyshawn's success. Big T is pissed off. He want to know why you turned off his TV. Rome starts in on the BS of, oh, it's just them tearing up their neighborhoods over somebody dying again. Big T is going off. He's screaming at the fact that, like, Rome is spewing that bullshit. And it's like, you cooning right now, my guy. You're giving very much coon. I don't like this. You got an ass whooping coming in your future from me if I was on this show. Like, what he was saying, it was just like, oh my god, this, oh. Big T going off, he's screaming. Rum is high and drunk, so he just saying whatever come to his mind. And he was like, well, my uncle said, why, like, we got the gun. So basically he backs the blue. He's a Blue Lives Matter bitch. And it's just like, putting on that uniform is a choice. Being black is not. Getting to Keyshawn about to leave, but Big T starts screaming again, and he getting louder and louder. Him and Rom going back and forth. Some of it's making sense, none of it's making sense. It's a lot. Gidget is telling him to calm down and stop, and he start going off on her, telling her, white girl, don't say nothing to me. And they start going back and forth, and Gidget is like, what you gonna do? I'm about that action. It's like, oh my god, it's a lot. And they start screaming back and forth. Big T put his foot through the whole goddamn little coffee table. Wody got to pull him away. Keyshawn is obviously over here visibly crying and shaking and having a panic attack due to, like, all the, like, she has PTSD. So everything she's dealt with in her past, especially with the white man, like his screaming and everything, usually leads to him physically hurting her. So this is just bringing up really bad memories for her. It's a hot mess. So Wody finally got him out the room. Now, down to the bank, Uncle Clifford takes extra Whisper and Monroe back to one of the rooms to sleep in for the night. And it just so happens that that's the room that Haley is sleeping in. Well, not sleeping in currently. That's the room she has been sleeping in. And one of the workers that Duffy brought, he don't speak English, so they playing charades, trying to help him find a bathroom. Now, they do help him find the bathroom, and Uncle Clifford tells the girls, get comfortable. And Monroe was like, it looked like somebody already got comfortable because she points out Haley's stuff. So it's just like, child, what the hell is going on? Now, Big T come back in the room. He trying to calm himself down. It's really hard. He's going through it. He hears murder in the bathroom, so he goes in while he's recording, starts pissing. Now, Lil Murder gets up, does a little look over because he was sitting in the tub, so he does a little look over, and I was like, was that look over? Like, yeah, I remember that. That used to be mine. But whatever he do, he goes out he leaves the bathroom and he starts rolling a joint. Now, he asked Big Teak what's wrong, and I think Big Teak is a empath, and he picks up on all the problems of the world and everybody's energy, and then it starts to negatively affect him because he's feeling all of it. There's no like he can't turn it off. And he starts going off about how society doesn't want black people around, but he said the N word. I'm not gonna say it on here. Like not today. I'm not. Probably said it before, but I don't feel like saying it all the time. Um, doesn't want black people, no matter like if we're quote unquote good black people, bad black people, no matter the occupations that we do. For some reason, y'all will always, and when I say all, y'all will always, I mean non-black people and the cooning black people, self-hating black people will always have a problem with us. For what reason? I don't know why, other than the fact that it's just like y'all are some hateful motherfuckers. Because at the end of the day, we all just want to be able to live our lives and do whatever the fuck we want to do, and we're not a hindrance to y'all. We don't be going around fucking with y'all. Y'all be coming around fucking with us. So he's just going off on this, and it's just like, you know, it does not matter what you do. All they're gonna see is that you're black. So why not prove them right in like the stereotypes that they have? And I was like, I like proving motherfuckers wrong because it's funny. It really is. Like I love to see the look on their faces when I prove them wrong, because then they feel some type of way, and it's just like, bitch, that's your fault that you either underestimated me or thought I was one to play with. Now, Lil Murda walks over to Big T, and he trying to comfort him. And T tells him how proud he is of him, and how he was one person he would never have to worry about because he gonna be all right. And then they start kissing, and they start taking off clothes, and then they get the condom out, and then they get the lube, and it looked like it was a real good time, honey. And all I'm gonna say is I hope y'all locked the doors, and I hope there was no recording devices. Mind y'all, they was getting it in while you hear sirens and everything playing. I don't know if that was a play on how their situation was. Like, I don't know if they started on the outside and then really got close on the inside when they were in prison, or if they were, locked up, won't let you out in prison, and they got together then. I don't know. Now Keyshawn gets Gidget an Uber to Nashville, and she's like, call me when you get there. Ron was like, oh, you sent her away. And Keyshawn was like, Gidget is my bitch for life, but there are some things that you can't talk about or can't be said around mixed company. And Rome is, I'm going to get Wody to fire Big T because he scares you. And Keyshawn was like, I wasn't scared. He was like, you were scared. And if you ever feel the way you felt tonight ever again, you come to me because I want you to know I got you. Which then proves to me, and it should prove to everybody else, that he's in love with her. He's in love with her and basically will do everything he possibly can to make sure she ends up with him. And then Wodio, always in the shadows, always listening, always where he needs to be and where he doesn't need to be, as was outside listening to that whole thing. So it's just like, child, what will this trickle down into? Then we get to Andre and Haley talking outside and talking about him running for mayor and asking if she'll stay, asking about her selling the Pank. And she's like, I'll sell it if I get the right offer. And Promised Land, like before the pandemic came to her, wanted to offer her only $1 million for the Pank, and it's just like, it's worth more than $1 million. It's definitely worth more than $1 million. But here's where she fucked up at. Uncle Clifford and Mercedes were in the office listening. And Mercedes is ready to whoop ass. She didn't took off her earrings. And Uncle Clifford said, rule number 7.5. No witnesses. Now, Haley lets it be known if she's out there just flapping her gums to Andre because she feels like, it's safe. She could talk to him about anything. Not realizing that people can hear you, that her plan was always to sell the Pank. She was just waiting to see if the casino deal was going to go through, which I forgot who said it. It was one of the ladies on the Ooh Ladies First panel who said, yeah, she was probably waiting to see if that casino deal went through to see what she was going to do with the Pank. And she was like, it's just a building. This sets Uncle Clifford and Mercedes off, and they come outside and let her know that they heard everything. And, they start going off, like Uncle Clifford starts going off about how you ain't shit. You need to remember how you got the money to buy this place, and just starts going off. Everybody comes out that was inside. She lets them know that Haley is trying to sell the Pank from right up under them, and that if the Pank was just some simple ass building, you wouldn't have been living here like this was your home. Which then makes Mercedes say, you said you was living with a friend. And Uncle Clifford hits her with, she ain't got no friends, she ain't got no family. And then Mercedes, after everybody goes back inside, and after Andre left, Mercedes, like Montavious was right. You're an easy bitch to love, but you're an even easier bitch to hate. And like I said on my Twitter, Haley might be a businesswoman, but she doesn't realize because she's never been. She was a foster child. Like, I picked that up right away with damn trash bags and how that worked out. She was a foster kid, so she's used to throwing her shit in a bag, like giving that look, what, 5 to 10 minute window, throwing all your shit that you could carry in a black trash bag and carrying it on to the next house. She's never had to put roots down anywhere because she was always on the move. No matter what it was for, she was always on the move. And that's how she even ended up in Chuckalisa, because she was on the move running from something. And she's a runner, she's a track star. She didn't have that upbringing where it is okay to have friends and family. It is okay to settle down roots. It is okay to stop running. She doesn't have that. So she is going to run until she can't run anymore. And she's never going to be satisfied with life because she will always be on the run. But when it comes to her being a businesswoman, I'm like, as a businesswoman, you should know and you should understand that it's better to keep the pank and hope that the casino deal goes through, and then they could build around it, because then that equals out more money for y'all, because you now have drunk people coming to spend their winnings. You have people who want to get the hell away from their wives if they build like a little hotel in the casino. You got bachelor parties, you got bachelorette parties. You just got people wanting to celebrate their birthday there. You got people coming from out of town that's willing to spend all their little money down there. And that's more money for you. And that's a continuous income. But, she like, y'all could, we could sell it. Y'all could take the money and, move the bank somewhere else. And it's just like, the fact that she's doing all this, not only is she distancing herself away from them, but she is proving to them that she can't be trusted, and that's going to hurt her in the long run. Now, Mercedes, like I said, she told her, going in my notes. So the inspection is the next day. They fail the inspection. Now Big L is playing go between the two of them, because it's just like, I don't want to talk to her, and that bitch is always up to something. Once again, this is the next day. So Big Teak found a postcard to Uncle Clifford, and he want to know who the fuck is Cliff, and why didn't Lil Murder write him in prison when he got out. So now they about to be into it. Chow. Now Andre's into it with Mayor Ruffin's, the kids and Mookie and them, because he left the house to Andre. He didn't leave the house to his kids. He left the house to Andre. And that pissed them off. But this also helps Andre, because now you have a permanent home base and an address. And he calls Corbin and he was like, hey, look at here. I'm running for mayor. The house is going to be the headquarters. So go and bring your high yellow, ginger ass down to here so we get this done. And then we see the Dirty Dozen's crew on the highway listening to the radio, and the reporter is talking about how the protest is an awakening for America. And I was like, yeah, you would have hoped it would have been an awakening, and like, now open y'all eyes and see what the fuck is going on. But they still on that bullshit. Even though it's 5 months for them, it's been 2 years for us, they still on that bullshit. They are. So, y'all get out there and vote. Go to vote.org for the help you will need for that. And then we end the episode with the list of the names of the people. I don't know if it was like the cast and the crew or just everybody in the world, but the people that they loved and lost in 2020. And, I said a little prayer. Y'all say a little prayer for them. And that's how we end the episode. And that was it. I went another hour and I talked a lot. God, I hope my voice ain't shot to hell. Anyway, if you are new to the channel and you like the content over here, please like, comment, subscribe, turn your post notifications on, and share it with your people. If you're not new to the channel and you don't like the content over here, please like, comment, subscribe, turn your post notifications on, and share me with your people, because you may not like me, but somebody out there does. If you want to do business with me, you want to follow me on social media, you want to buy my Elder Be Damn merch, you want to buy my lip gloss, or you just want to bless me with a little something because a bitch got bills and she needs to pay that tuition bill off, and you want to bless me with something, all blessings will be received. But that's if you can or you want to. Everything's in the description box below and scrolling across the ticker at the bottom of the screen. And that was it. I will see y'all later for what is it? What's coming on tonight? Real Housewives of Atlanta, and then Love Match Atlanta's season finale, and then I might come to y'all about the. I don't want to talk about the verses because I got some things to say about that, but I might come to y'all about the BET Awards. Let's see what this gonna give. And I'll see y'all later. Bye.